This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are gonna be okay.
Hello, my fellow hunters. I have one question to ask, and one question only. How do you feel about chest spikes? Because I feel goddamn so scared of them and the Alatreon they're attached to. But that Alatreon they're attached to, we now have all the information about. Yes, a brand new developer diary to tell us all the things, and all the things are just ridiculous. So, how is Iceborne Alatreon going to work? Well, of course, the original fight, his random elemental shifting, is now much more the focal point. He is, well, of course, the blazing black dragon, the elemental dragon, and they have really run away with that. A slew of new ice attacks, well, and new fire and dragon and lightning too. So basically, get ready to visit camp a lot, whether you want to or not. So he has 3 modes: fire active mode, ice active mode, and the new purple mode, or otherwise known as dragon active mode, which is very nice to see. But I can't help but feel like, why did they add dragon, but where's lightning active mode? Does lightning just not get a look in? Is he just being rejected? That's so sad for poor lightning.
Sad lightning noises.
Unless, of course, they just didn't decide to highlight it. But the main takeaway for me is, well, we do see multiple elements used within one attack, such as this badass wave of lightning and dragon. They didn't highlight mixing elements as like a main feature of Iceborne Alatreon, so either it's a much bigger deal than we realize and it's being kept secret, or it's, well, not as big of a deal as we thought it would. But it does happen, so we will see how that plays out. So, he has then a new big attack, known as Eschaton Judgment. As you can see, is a little bit threatening across the entire zone of every element and just pure death. So this thing happens whenever he switches elements. So it's going to happen a lot, which means you need a way to mitigate it, and there is 2 chief ways highlighted. You either power through with an absolute ton of healing, or you have to really be on top of damaging him with elemental attacks. See, every mode that he shifts into, his weaknesses and strengths element-wise shift along with him. So supposedly, as long as you keep wailing with the correct elemental weakness, you will mitigate the power of this switch to the next element. So that's quite an interesting little tactic here. So if there is, 4 hunters in the party, each person can bring an element to counter a certain mode, and you might just be okay. I do worry deeply about solo hunters, but hey, I'm sure you'll be fine. Totally fine. Then we have ourselves the equipment, which is inspired on his spikes and razor jagged design. There's not much else to the fight, at least, that has been highlighted. It is 3 modes, big explosions he switches. Each mode is a slew of new badass elemental attacks, some of which are mixed, and everything hits like I would say a truck, but no, everything hits like a fucking black dragon. So his armor then inspired on his spikes. I mean, look at it. It is awesome to see that armor back once more. Yes, indeed. Looking absolutely glorious in Iceborne. And oh, that scythe! Good lord! Oh, I have missed Alatreon equipment so deeply. And that equipment then, what is the little gimmick, the twist for him? Well, of course, he's all about the elements, and they wanted to highlight that. So Alatreon, at least one of his set bonuses, I have to imagine there is two, but maybe it's just something like crit element just thrown on there, but his main gimmick seems to be, as your armor's elemental resistance increases, so does the element on your weapon. So if you are incredibly resistant to dragon armor-wise, then the dragon element on your weapon will go up, which is incredible in theory, but of course it comes down to the actual values, the conversion rate, because, well, the example they showed, you have 35 dragon resistance, and as I understand it, that's taken you from 770 to 810, and that's bloated, so that's not the biggest increase in the world, but it is quite curious that you can become absolutely insanely elementally tanky while still increasing your damage output in the attempt. So perhaps if you're wearing his armor, you just whack in level 3 resist of the element that's on your weapon and you get a decent boost for one slot, and really that's not too bad at all, but I can't deny I'm a little bit, we didn't get any elemental shifting shenanigans or, you know, anything really out there, but you never know, maybe something's still hidden. But that is about it for Alatreon and what he's going to be doing. And what he's going to be doing is making all our lives simultaneously miserable and incredible for a long while. And I, for one, cannot wait for our new Black Dragon Overlord. Alright guys, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more delicious news coming. But for now, goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kinda relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.